what's up and welcome back to my channel. Now today I'm going to be giving a review for the animated film Aztec Batman Clash of Empires. And this is my copy that I have over right here on a Blu-ray. Now this is also on 4K. And as you can see, mine even has like a digital code. That is what I have been doing with like these lately, because I know like DVDs and Blu-rays, like 4Ks, they're getting like obsolete almost, like because everything is like streaming. I just be getting these now so I can have the digital code, you know, I can download and watch it like on like all my like streaming services that I have, you know. That's why I be still getting these. But yeah, if you're interested, this particular film is like out there on Blu-ray and 4K. Because I was wondering when it was going to officially be released, because I already knew the movie was like released, but they didn't really give like an announcement date for the actual like DVD or the Blu-ray itself, you know. But it turns out that this was actually already on video. So if you want this like in this form, they do have these, you know. So yeah, this is basically like a collaboration between like Warner Brothers and companies like Anima and like other companies too that I'm not, I must admit, that familiar with myself. And this is basically like another retelling of the Batman tale, but done like in like I guess you could say like an Indian type style or Mexican type style, because this was actually released like in Mexican theaters on September 18th, so that had to be kind of cool. If you were in Mexico, this actually played in the theaters, so that had to be kind of awesome. But basically there isn't like any like Bruce Wayne or like, you know, like people like that. It's basically like a Indian like retelling, you can see like a Mexican retelling of like Batman. So all those like personifications of like Batman or the Joker or Catwoman, Poison Ivy, Two-Face, Azrael, you know, all of them are here, but they're done like in like a Mexican, like Indian type style. But the film itself is centered around like this boy known as I think Kodo, and sorry, I know I'm going to be butchering their names, because their names will be hard for me to say because they're like foreign type names. I won't even go inside the voice actors because I'm not really familiar with like a lot of the voice actors and actresses, because they're all like, I think like Mexican or Indian. I can barely even say their name. But Kotar, he's like a young kid, and I guess it's a spoiler territory. His mother was already like passed away, like I think like some time ago when the film opens up. But he's like living with his father, and his father's actually like the village leader of the place where they are located at. And at one point, like these people come along, like this guy known as Cortez, because Cortez, he seems like a good guy. First you can tell he has an edge, but it turns out that he is like the antagonist of the film. He comes along and starts slaughtering like the village as well. I think this is also like in the 16th century. It takes place like in the 1500s, if I'm not mistaken. I remember seeing that in the special features. So I think this is like in the 1500s. So he comes and slaughters like a lot of like the Mexican, or you can say the Indians, tribes and stuff. It turns out that Cordel's like a father, I think that's how you pronounce his name, he was even killed too as well. So right there you can see like the connection between him losing his parents. Like Bruce Wayne lost his parents, you know. Other than that, Bruce Wayne lost both his parents at the same time, whereas he loses his parents like one at a time. Like his mother was already gone, but then he sees his father gets killed too. And it turns out, you know, as the film goes on, he seeks out training, because they try to kill him too, but he manages, of course, to escape, because he even gets wounded, and he goes to this forest, and like this version of like Poison Ivy shows up and heals him. She puts like this like leaf on his arm, but I think it's really just like a vision. If I can remember correctly, she wasn't really like real, but this version of Poison Ivy shows up and heals him. So you get all these different like versions of like the Batman's like role guy, or like characters, you know, who show up in this particular film, but done like in this style, you know. There's also like a guy there who kind of trains him, and he's like kind of similar to Alfred. Like this guy, I forget what his name was, but he's kind of similar to like Alfred. But like I said, it's basically like a revenge tale, because Cordell, he eventually trains himself to become like a very like powerful like fighter, you know, and he even dons a costume at one point. I must admit, I think the costume was kind of cool, you know, because he even throws batarangs and stuff like that. So all that I thought was pretty cool. Various different versions of the like it's like the Joker, this guy known as I think Yoka. He's like a respected priest that like makes sacrifices and stuff like that, but eventually he turns like bad. He even kills like his own family at one point, and that's when he like actually becomes like this personification of the Joker, because he even paints himself like all white, and he takes the blood of like his like parents, I think like his mother and something like that, and wipes it all on his lips and stuff like that. So I thought that was kind of interesting, that this guy turned like basically into what is the Joker, you know. Then like Cortez himself, like the antagonist of the film, he's really like a Two-Face. He's like a version of Two-Face, and he becomes like that because they also had this version of Catwoman that they call Jaguar Woman. and she comes up and she does steal, and she steals from people and gives like the poor people or the good people. That's what she does. This particular version of Catwoman that they'll call a Jaguar Woman. She scratches his Cortez's face, and that's when he becomes like Two-Face. Like he starts wearing this mask. He even flips a coin to make decisions. You know, it's like, whoa, that's kind of interesting. And there are like some surprises in the film too. Like there's like a treat at the very end of the film. You have to watch like I think even the credits somewhere you'll see there's like a tease of another like Batman type villain, who I guess will show up in another version of this, another sequel to this. Because apparently, from the way this ended, it looks like there's going to be a sequel, like, or Warner Bros. Is planning a sequel to this particular film, because they just introduced like another like Batman villain into it. You know, you can tell, answer no question, you can tell who this particular guy was. And there's also like a version of Azrael too, because he's like Cortez's right hand man, known as Pedro, and he looks just like Azrael. And I was noticing that too, and I found out that he was based on Azrael when you watch like the special features of the film. But this film is also directed by Juan Meza Leon. I think that's how you pronounce it. And I think it was pretty decent. It was still like I think an odd choice. I'm kind of curious why Warner Brothers did something like this, you know. And apparently, like I say, it looks like they're going to be planning like a sequel to this particular film. But in the end, I kind of want to give it a B- because the animation and everything was pretty cool. I like the action and stuff like that. But I'm gonna lean more towards a C, because I think some of like the names and all that kind of stuff is kind of complicated to me, because I can barely like read it. And they do have this like in different languages and stuff like that. But I still think it's like worth watching, you know. So I'm gonna give a Batman, well, Aztec Batman, Clash of Empires. I'm gonna give it a C. And I guess I'd recommend it for fans of just like the animated Batman films. I think this is okay, you know. And like I said, they do have this like on a Blu-ray or like a 4K too as well if you want, you know. Like you can get these like on discs, you know, because these have the digital code too. Kind of some of them don't even have the digital code, you know. That's why I had picked it up. But anyway, please leave a comment and subscribe too as well.